this table where we laughed and talked all day. So long ago, love was offered. The joy of being together made you want to stay. Take me back.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today, we are going to do a comparison between the cornbread that I normally make and freshly milled corn into cornmeal. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, I have two of these small little skillets, cast iron, and we are going to slather them with, I'm using lard, home rendered lard. You could use shortening if you wanted to, or you could use lard from the store, whichever one. Now I'm going to do this very liberally because these pans have been known to stick on me, and I certainly don't want that. And I want some of this lard to come out of these so I can pour it in my cornmeal mixture when I get ready to make these. Pop these in the oven while the oven is preheating. We're preheating the oven to 450 degrees. All right, so my preferred cornmeal mix is white Lilly self-rising cornmeal, and that is what I have here in this little container. This is a half a cup measuring. I'm going to put 2 cups in my mixing bowl here. And this recipe came from a blog that I really like, Blind Pig and an Acorn. She also has a YouTube channel called Celebrating Appalachia. I highly, highly recommend that you go to both the blog and the YouTube channel. Wonderful, wonderful people. I love, love, love Tipper and Matt and Corey and Katie, all of their whole family. I just love them dearly. So anyway, so 1 egg. And you could have put that in a bowl and beaten it slightly. I didn't, but you could have. So I need 1 1/3 cup of milk. And I bought this at the Dollar Tree. If you have a Dollar Tree where you are, this is shelf-stable milk. Now once you open it, you have to put it in the refrigerator. But I love to keep this on hand because we don't usually drink a lot of milk. So anyway, 1 1/3 cups. And I'm going to stir this together, making sure that I get the egg well incorporated. It would have been better had I put that in a bowl and beaten it together, or put it with the milk and beat it up. Now this is the exact way my mom would have made cornbread, and this is going to be too much for that one little pan. That's okay. Okay, so let's get one of the skillets out, and we'll use the oil to go in here, and we can get that one in the oven cooking. Now the one thing you need to, for this grain mill, and this is a Wonder Mill, you have to turn it on before you add your corn to it, or your wheat berries to it, or whatever it is that you're milling that day. Now when I bought this mill, I bought it secondhand. I bought it from a really nice lady. And she had a few containers like this of hard white wheat berries and soft white wheat berries. And then she had this popcorn. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I love that. So we're going to use, that's what she said she did. She used the popcorn, that's what she got it for, was to make cornmeal. So that's what we're going to use this for. All right. Everything kind of out of my way. All right, that skillet's close enough. Let's get it out and get this one in the oven. It is really hot. Now I'm going to pour the leftover lard right into my mixture here. And the rest of this I'll put in a muffin tin and I'll bake them up as muffins. All right. Now I'm following this recipe. This is Tipper's recipe and I'm following it to a T. Or exactly. All right, so I'm going to put this one back in the oven so that it can begin cooking. It needs to cook around 20 minutes. Okay, we got that going. Let me get my muffin tin out. And you can see my muffin tin has been well used and well loved. And I'm going to do 6. Probably going to grease all sides of this, all of these muffin tins. Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll put the rest of this batter in. I'm going to do 6 of each one if I have enough of the other one, which I have a feeling I will. Put in the comments how you make cornbread. I love to hear from you guys. I really appreciate those of you who are consistently watching our videos and all of our new people that are coming over and finding us. It takes a little while for the YouTube algorithm to start throwing you out there. So we hit a big milestone a few weeks ago. We hit 100 videos. I was so excited. So to celebrate that, we did 100 ears of corn. My mother-in-law, Bernice, was there. We just call her Mama. And she was there to help us shuck that corn and get it in the freezer. And we have really been enjoying it. So that's going to go in there. Now, okay, so let's get our 1 cup. Let's get a different measuring cup here. I'm not real sure. You have to turn your meal on first, so it's going to be loud. And sorry about that. Okay, now you never want to put your grains in here unless the machine is running. And you don't want to stop it until you hear that change that the machine makes. Hopefully you heard it. It went from that kind of bogged down grinding this to more of just a free running type deal. All right, so let's see how this looks. I hope I have a cup. Oh yeah. Beautiful. So we're going to use 1 cup. This is a half a cup measurer, so I'm going to use 1 cup of this. I'm going to have some left, so I'm just going to pop this back over here on top. And we'll put that in the jar. We'll have that later. Got popcorn everywhere. Now, this recipe calls for something that I never put in my cornbread. And that is flour. So, a lot of people do. I just never do. My mother never put flour in hers, and I just don't do that. But we're going to today because that's what the recipe says to do. So we have 1 cup of freshly milled cornmeal. Now, sometimes you can find freshly milled cornmeal at places like farmers markets or maybe an Amish type store or something like that. But all right, this is a half a cup. I need 3 of these. Okay, and I need a half a teaspoon of salt. Alright, 1 egg and a half a cup of milk. I laid my egg over there in my bowl with the cucumbers from the garden. So before I crack that all the way, I want to mix this up. Now, I never saw my mother put flour, and it calls for one other ingredient that I don't know. It's big controversy. It's a bit controversial here in the South. Can you guess what it is? If you can guess what it is, put it in the comments. And again, 1.5 cups of milk. So we're going to do the half cup first, because it was there. All right. I'm going to put this over here. Those can go back in the refrigerator. Let's mix this up a little bit. Then we're going to get a skillet out of the oven. Have you guessed what the other ingredient is? My mom would be like, mm-mm. All right, let's get my other skillet out. Ooh, and she is screaming hot. I'm gonna mix this all up. Now the recipe calls for about 1/4 of a cup to 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Now, to be a fair comparison, I'm not going to put that in there today because I want this to be as fair a comparison as I can get it. And so one sweet and one not, I just don't feel like that would be a fair comparison. So, but if you want to put it in there, you go right ahead. And also, I just can't bring myself to put sugar in cornbread. I just can't do it. All right, so we're going to put this one in here. And we'll know, we put that in there about 10 minutes. So when the other one comes out, we'll know to put that one on 10 minutes more. Now, let's get this batter in these muffin tins. Now, if you like sweet cornbread, and I've had some that I liked, but I just can't bring myself to do it here at home. I don't know why. My mama would have never put sweet sugar in cornbread. Isn't it funny how the things we grow up with, that's how we do things a lot of times? You can tell the batter looks completely different and probably will taste. This is more like the cornbread I would have, just plain old cornbread. I'm stealing a little bit from these because these two don't have much. That one didn't make quite as much. Right. That'll be good. I'm going to get a butter knife out so I can run around the edges of my pan. You really shouldn't need to do that, but I don't use those pans that often, so we may have to. Another thing that we're going to have this morning is our very first, because I've been putting these up, I blended up, I took the peeling off, and I blended them up and I put them in freezer bags, and I am going to freeze dry them this fall to have tomato powder. I love having tomato powder in my pantry. You can just do so much with it. I just love it. And I think from now on, I'm not even going to take the peelings off. I'm just going to take this core out. So we're going to take one of these tomatoes and we're going to make a tomato sandwich. We'll see if we can pick a good one. All right. Now, while the other one has 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put these in. I'm not sure how long these will take. And a lot of these will probably wind up in the freezer. But that's okay. That's one good thing. If you have leftover cornbread, pop it in your freezer. You can make dressing. You can get it out and, all right, so this one's going to come on out of there. Look how beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? You can't see. Look how gorgeous. That popped right out. I'm so excited. We're going to let this sit here and cool off just for a few minutes. I'll wipe that back down and I'll put it back in the oven and let it season again before I put it away. All right, I just have some classic white bread here. All right, and my son and daughter-in-law really love Duke's mayonnaise. And they brought this on the 4th of July. So I'm going to give it a try. I usually just buy Bama or one of those brands. To be honest, most of the time I can't tell the difference. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, can't believe you can't tell the difference. But and I like a little mayonnaise on both sides Some people like a lot of mayonnaise. Either way is fine. I really hope this tomato's good. Okay. This one has a large core in it, but I'm just going to cut that out. I'm not picky. Not very anyway. We'll just kind of cut up to that core. This is a German giant. I probably would not plant this tomato again because of that core. Now you want to have some salt on this. It's going to make it so, so good. There are so many different ways, and this is for the purist. This is, I want a tomato sandwich just like my mama used to make, or my daddy, or my aunt, or my grandma, or whatever. Look how beautiful. There is nothing like that. There's nothing like it. It is so, so good. A fresh, ripe tomato that was picked yesterday, right off our vines outside. You cannot beat that. That is so delicious, y'all. I'm going to finish that a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and season my pan. That cornbread came out so well. And that skillet's probably still hot, so I'm just going to wipe out the skillet. Just get any crumbs out. And it won't take as much as we put in the first time. It'll just take a little bit. You just want, you want to be able to see it. You want it to look shiny like that. Do you see how shiny that looks? And once I get these others out of the oven, I will just turn the oven off and let them sit in there. And that'll be fantastic. That'll be good. We're down to 29 seconds. I'm going to turn the broiler on because I want this to be brown on the top also. That one's going to be thicker than this one because it has flour in it. This is exactly the kind of cornbread my mother would have made. And I got this recipe, again, off of Celebrating Appalachia. Because when I make cornbread, I just do it and stir it up. I don't usually have a recipe that I go by. So, I had Papa came in. I had a tomato sandwich. You want half? No? Papa can't really eat tomatoes that much. While we're waiting on that to brown, I'm going to finish this. Papa asked me if it was good. It's fantastic. Alright. I can hear it. Can y'all hear that? So I can already tell that one's loose. That's beautiful. That is also so hot. This skillet is not in the least dirty, but I am going to put just a little oil in it. Give me one more paper towel. We don't want a lot because we don't want our pan to turn out to be sticky. Okay. I'm going to set those on the stove until the muffins get done. When the muffins get done, then we'll do our little taste comparison. Of course, we'll get Papa some coffee. There you are. Love you too. Ain't he sweet? I'm so blessed. I'm gonna go ahead and set my skillets in here. And turn the oven off, and we'll just let them stay in there until they're completely cool. That is the way you want to do your iron skillets every time you use them, and then they will be non-stick. You won't have to worry about it. Don't these look good? Now I realize these look more like the ones my mom would have made. They're a little more rustic. They're still good though. Until you have a lot of crunchiness on the bottom. This one's really brown on the bottom too. I'm going to smooth these out of the way. I'm going to pop this butter. In the microwave for just a moment. We're going to cut each one of these in half. And we are going to do a taste test to see which one we like best. Now this is the one that's made with the white Lilly self-rising cornmeal. And this one, which I think looks prettier, is the one that's made with the cornmeal that we used our grain meal to get. It's just made, we just took popcorn and put it in the grain meal and ground it up and made cornmeal out of it. Isn't that wonderful to have that? I love that so much. We're going to try the traditional one, the one my mom would have made first. That is fantastic. Right back to my mom's kitchen. I love that. Now let's try the one with the fresh milled cornmeal. And we added flour to this one, remember. So this is something different for Nana. This is not something I would have ever made in the past, but it might be a new favorite. Who knows? Very crunchy on the outside. Tender, moist on the inside. I do like that. Yeah, I can't tell you which one I like the best. Of course, the one my mom made will always have a special place in my heart. But I do like the one made with the fresh milled flour also. Try another bite of that. I don't know. Why don't you give it a try? And come back and leave it in the comments which one you think is better. Traditional or the one made with the fresh ground. I think I like this one pretty good. I like that pretty good. I like this for quick, easy. I don't have to meal anything. I don't have to do anything. This is just ingredients you can get from the store. What I do like about this is if you had a little generator that could run that, you could cook this in a Dutch oven. And if you had access to some corn maybe that you raised, you would always have cornmeal and you would always be able to make cornbread. Versus where we live, it's a little harder to raise wheat, although Papa said some people do. I think it would be a harder thing to do. So, I don't know, you just have to pick the one you like the best and decide for yourself which one you like the best. I think both of these will be in my cornbread making from the future, for the future now. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, seeing which cornbread we like best, even though we couldn't make a decision. I'd love to see your comments on which one or which way that you like to make it. Now, a lot of people use buttermilk. There's so many variations with cornmeal and different things like that. So I hope you'll come back soon and see me again. Remember, Nana loves you. Nana is so, so proud of you. And you always have a friend here. I'll see you on the next one.